Hi guys, okay, so this video I am going to be showing you how to DIY your own grid or window effect mirror.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
I can explain. Do you know how traumatic of an experience that was for me? Do you know how traumatic of an experience? Anyway, you need to watch to the end because why did that have to happen? Anyway guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Sade here. If you can't already tell by the title of this video, a DIY mirror fail, then in today's video I'm going to be showing you how not to DIY your own grid mirror, window effect mirror. I'm going to be showing you what not to do. Now, it's really frustrating because I did this project now about 3-4 months ago and I still haven't come to terms with it, but I'm trying to, so I think this video is going to be the closure that I need so I can move on, because honestly, I set out to make a beautiful mirror. It was going so well, literally up until the very last step. I had all the footage, I didn't want it to go to waste, and I haven't yet made a new one, so I thought I'll show you this video because it'll be fun. I know it'll be funny-ish, kind of. It'll be funny for you, it wasn't funny for me at the time. It's pretty much a whole-blown project. You can utilise this to make your own version if you want, just making it slightly better measurements. But yeah, I thought might as well not waste the footage, we'll put it out. So anyway, we're going to flip back to past tense Sade, who had no idea of the trauma that was about to inflict her life. I'm being so dramatic. Get to the end, see what happens at the end, and then I am going to be remaking this properly. But yeah, let's get into it. Please like and subscribe before you head off, and try not to laugh too much, guys, please. I'm using MDF with a thickness of 9mm. Now, it is pretty heavy stuff. I'm actually not going to be hanging it on the wall, so I'm not too worried about it for my purposes. However, if it's something that you're going to want to hang on the wall, you're going to want to make sure that you're going with maybe 6mm MDF, or even something a little bit like thinner, like plywood or something like that. I'm using strips of MDF at 2cm each, and then the different varying lengths, to put it all together like a puzzle piece, and then pop my mirror tiles inside, which are 20.5cm each, and I got those from Amazon. So again, the link is in the description for that. Now, you can kind of remix this however you want. If you want a tall standing against the wall mirror, you can make this taller and bigger. If you want a smaller mirror, you can totally do that as well. Really up to you. Something's just caught my eye. My notepad is blowing across the garden because it's so windy here. Hoping that it doesn't fly off because it's got my calculations in. So I'll wrap this up really quickly. So we're going to be making this grid mirror. It's going to be easy. We just need a couple of things. The material that you're going to be using, I'm using MDF today. The mirror tiles, I'll put the link in the description for you. Some wood glue to glue it all together. Some paint or some spray paint to give you the colour effect that you want for your mirror. If you're using actual wood, you can also lime wax it or stain it the colour that you want. MDF, I don't think takes to stain and lime waxing very well, so I'm just going to be painting it black for today. You'll also probably need some things like a saw, a jigsaw or a circular saw, or even a normal handsaw if you've not got those, or if you can get yourself to B&Q and you can somehow get the cuts to size that you want and you just need a little handsaw or a hacksaw to trim them down to the right size, then fair enough, but I'm going to be having to make my actual own cuts today. I'm going to take you outside. We're going to be doing this in the garden today. Hopefully the wind kind of like slows down because it is crazy at the minute, but we'll see what we can do. Disclaimer, the rest of this video is about to be a hot mess, so please bear with me. I learned a lot throughout this process and I'm hoping to share that with you guys. I'm hoping to share that with you guys. So I am marking out what I am hoping to be a perfect square here. I mean, it really wasn't, and it caused me a lot of hassle, so please make sure you've got a perfect square before you begin. I've got some scrap wood on the end which I'm going to cut off, so I decided to utilise that first and foremost, and I'm measuring 2cm gaps between them because I'm going to be using those as the 2cm kind of like frame, as you will see later on in the video. I mean, this is mistake after mistake after mistake. I will explain this as we go on, but honestly, it was just a tragic mess. This is the actual first time I've ever used a circular saw. You're seeing it on camera firsthand, and I mean, it's questionable. First of all, I shouldn't be stood behind the blade. I should be stood to the left-hand side of the blade with the blade on my right. obviously not doing that. And I think you'll see here, I'm kind of like, where do I go? I can't stand forward, so I'll just lean over the bench, and that's really dangerous. So don't do that, please don't do that. But one thing I am doing right, thank you, A star for effort, is wearing some safety goggles, and I'm also stood out in a well ventilated space. I mean, it was actually really windy, so maybe it wasn't the best, considering it was blowing sawdust absolutely everywhere, but you know, we move. After much deliberation and a little bit of research, I decided to build myself a makeshift guide. So that is what you can see here. Piece of wood on top, clamp it down, use it as a guide, perfect straight line. And I mean, this was it. It was perfect, and it was 2 centimeters. Now, what you won't see here, and I didn't show you on the video, is the fact that the blade to the end of the circular saw has got a distance. So that is what you can see as the overhang between the end of that clamp and the wood that I've just cut off. That is the kind of like distance that I used to make sure that I got the perfect 2 centimeter strip up and down, which, I mean, I don't look very happy here, but I was very happy about it. Oh, bless me, I'm marking up again. I just want to tell me what to do. It's so painful watching this back. But anyway, I am just marking that reference for the guide again, because I'm going to be clamping that down and cutting a second strip. However, you will see the issue that we had. The piece that you see me cutting now ended up being slightly thinner than the original 2 centimeter one. It was about 1.5 centimeters, and I was really confused why. I didn't understand why it kept happening, and my first one was so good. And I soon realized it was because the cut that I was making, I wasn't taking it into account that the blade itself is quite thick. It's about 0.5 millimeters thick, so it was actually cutting away that from my 2 centimeter measurement, meaning I was left up with about a 1.5 centimeter piece of wood, which I soon realized, and I ended up making the cuts properly. But yeah, just something to take into account if you are going to be doing something like this. The blade actually is quite thick and will take a chunk out of your wood. Anyway, this is what we ended up with. It ended up taking shape. I don't know if you can tell on the camera here, this isn't a perfect square, and I don't know why I didn't realise it during the day, but I mean, I did realise soon enough. But yeah, it was just a weird shape. So I've cut all of the rough cuts for the kind of like panels around the mirrors, and I'm just kind of lining them up to see how they look. And they look a little bit like this. So what I'm going to do now is cut everything down to like a precision, using one of the mirror tiles in between, just to make sure everything is like cut properly, and then I'll wood glue everything down. And then once I've wood glued it all down, I'll cork it, sand it, and then paint it and leave it overnight to dry, and then tomorrow we can put the tiles in and it'll be finished. I'm having to laugh because if I don't, I'll just cry. But the fact that I'm watching this back, I'm just like, what were you thinking? So anyway, we've put the mirror tiles, which are actually really good quality. However, they weren't the perfect measurements. They're meant to be 20.5 centimeters wide each, and some of them were like 20, some of them were a little bit more. Wouldn't buy them again unless you don't need to be very precise with a project. Other than that, they were really good. But yeah, I ended up putting them in these plastic bags and putting them in to make sure that we could pull them back out, because we were gonna glue all of the wood around them. Honestly, weirdest technique ever, won't be using it again, but that's what we're doing. You guys didn't believe me when I said it was going to be a hot mess. I'm telling you, every single clip in this video, there is a mistake. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but honestly, so many mistakes on this video. Anyway, so that weird angle that I talked about before, I was trying to take it off, ended up taking off too much, had to wood glue it back on, then had to saw it the correct way. It was a lot. I don't want to talk about it. There is one piece of advice I give you. It is, do not use the mirrors as guides to stick all of the wood down because it will not work. It will not work. So that is what we did. I think we were just getting a bit frustrated with the whole project. Everything kept going wrong. We just wanted it finished yesterday. So we ended up using the mirrors as guides instead of actually measuring where we would put the wood slats, giving a little bit of contingency, maybe a millimetre or two for each of the mirrors either side of them, so that they would fit perfectly when we came to stick them in afterwards. So yeah, we ended up kind of compacting them all together, thinking this is going to look really good, it's going to look really professional because we've made it so close together, when in actual fact it made our lives harder, because when we came to put in the mirrors, I mean, I won't spoil the ending, just wait till you get there. Oh, you thought we made all the mistakes we could make? No, darling, don't be silly. So this is what it was looking like the next morning, using some poly filler. I thought, why not make it look seamless and get rid of those little gaps that you can barely see? Fill them in, make life harder for yourself because then you have to sand them down. Yeah, why not do that, Sade? Yeah, so we did that. I wouldn't suggest doing this, especially if you're painting your frame black. I wouldn't even probably do it knowing how much effort it caused and actually how more messy it made it look if I was painting something a light colour. I really wouldn't. I would just leave it. I think it adds to the look, having the teeny tiny little gaps. It really doesn't look like anything. It actually just makes the frame look more defined, if anything. So yeah, had to go in, polyfill them all, then sand them down. And then I actually had to use a screwdriver to pick out some of the bits that got into the corners so that the tiles would sit in flush. We're nearly there. At this point I was so excited, just spraying it, giving it that lick of paint. I was making sure to get in all of the crooks and crevices, especially a little bit behind where the mirror sat, so that there was no reflection of the lighter wood. And yeah, I mean, this was the penultimate stage. I was really excited, and then this happened. Here's what I think. MDF is very porous. It expands when it meets any kind of water or liquid or anything like that. We had wood glued it and spray painted it. I have a feeling it caused the MDF to expand because there is no way that the tiles that we fit in the night before and had precisely positioned all of them would act like this. Look at this. Yeah, my heart sunk. Do you know how many tiles I bought? 16. Do you know how many gaps there are there? 16. At this moment, I knew I was going to have to wait even longer to get more tiles to finish this project that I thought would be finished in the next 20 minutes. I went and asked for Rob's help because I didn't know if I was doing something wrong, but it was just the fact that the tiles were too big for the gaps. So there was really nothing we could do. I tried to carve it out to make more room for them. Didn't work, ended up smashing another tile, and in all honesty, I just wanted to cry. So yeah, we kind of left it at that, and then the next day I sawed it down a little bit, and I will show you that now. But yeah, that was pretty much an epic fail, and I would do everything so differently in the future. So the footage ended pretty abruptly there because I genuinely just had had enough. The mirrors kept cracking and I just kind of went upstairs to have a nap / a cry because it had taken about 2 days worth of effort, I think. And I was just like, come on, the last step. how can you do this to me? The last step is not fair. So I kind of like gave up and I was like, meh, stopped filming everything. But I think the next day I just like calmed myself down. I took my circular saw and I cut off the end of the mirror that I wasn't going to be able to use. So instead of it being a beautiful 4x4 square mirror, it ended up being a 4x2 mirror. I really do just wish that it worked because it would have been beautiful, but upon reflection I think there are several things that I can do better. So I've ordered myself more tiles. This time I got them from Dunelm because the sizes are a little bit better, they're really good quality, around the same price point, but I do know that you can get them from IKEA as well, and they're called the Lots mirrors. I think you get like a pack of 4 for like, I don't know, £7 or something like that. At the time when I did it, it was the very beginning of lockdown. IKEA was just not an option, so ordering online was. Anyway, I am going to be redoing this. There is no way I'm going to be defeated by a project. No. But yeah, that is it for the video. Let me know what you thought in the comment section. Time has passed. Time is a healer, so it's okay. You can say what you like. I can cope with it. But before you head off, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel so that you get more content like this from me. I have a massive garden makeover coming up very soon, which I can't wait to share with you guys. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled because they're going to be coming out very soon, literally in like a couple of days. Anyway guys, thanks for watching my fail mirror. Hope that you enjoyed it and I will see you in the next one. Bye.